Hi guys, I'm Mitchell Corling and welcome back to the Bossing It podcast. Today we've got a very special episode with two very special guests, Calvin and Ryan Smith from Suited and Booted. Guys, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on to this podcast.
No, thanks for having us on, mate.
Thanks for having us on, mate.
I know it's took a little while for us to get it.
You're a busy man yourself nowadays, mate.
I know. It's took a few months, but we're here now. So guys, just to get the ball rolling, for anyone who hasn't heard of Suited and Booted, what is the elevator pitch?
Good question. Am I getting this one,
You
Calvin?
go for it, mate. On you go.
Suited and Booted.
You're the master at the elevator pitch. No pressure.
No pressure here, by the way. How would I say? Suited and Booted's basically, it's a modern bespoke tailors. So our actual strapline is changing the way you experience tailoring. We've got 3 Scottish guys in a podcast. It's going to be hard for folk
Get
to
the subtitles on.
Yeah, changing the way you experience tailoring. So we have a wide range of different products. So it's not just suits. I think when people think about bespoke tailoring, they've got formal wear in the back of their mind, but 40% of their business is actually casual wear. What I'm wearing today. So we do all sorts. It's not just suits. And then we've got a casual range as well. We sell off the rack.
Okay. Right, so what were you guys doing before Suited and Booted?
So both moved to Dubai to do sales roles essentially.
Many years ago, by the way. Now.
Yeah, I know. It's getting actually freaks out when people ask that question. But I think it was like nearly 11 years ago now. I think we actually came at similar times, but we didn't know each other until probably about 2 years into Dubai. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got the same second name, by the way, but we're not related at all. It's the most common second name in the world, isn't it?
If you want to start believing in fate when you meet somebody like who you're going to go into business with, same surname, I was a bit one like.
Yeah.
He looks like my brother, more my actual brother as well, which is funny.
Yeah, well, I saw you were on a podcast with another boy a few months ago, and I watched that when it first came out, and even I was surprised. I thought you two were brothers at that, until I heard it. But
We've stopped correcting people when somebody's name's your brother. I'm just like sound chosen brother.
Yeah. So how did you then meet? How did you meet each other over here?
Like all good Scottish business stories, we met in the pub.
Brilliant. So then, what sparked the idea of you two coming together and making something like Suited and Booted?
We used to always joke with each other, like one person could do each other's job. Calvin always said he could do the suit game, and I was like, not a chance. And then, Suited and Booted was originally going for about a year and a half, and then we came together and joined forces and started building something a little bit special.
Yeah, so when I first met Ryan, he was already doing tailoring. So then obviously I met him, and straight away I was obviously in the same position that most people in Dubai are, that I didn't think the tailors here were really up to much. I just assumed because Dubai had the best of everything, they would have like an incredible tailoring offering. So when I met Ryan, I became a client first of all, and then through that relationship, we just obviously became like, best of pals. And I saw all the struggles he was going through at the beginning with, building a business from scratch, and he done amazing to build up like lots of clients and a good reputation in the market. And then the conversation him and I had was like, how could we sort of build this out, create a brand around it, and how could we evolve the sort of vision essentially.
So you were working for someone else then at that point in time?
No, I was doing it on my own.
Oh, you were doing it on your own.
Yeah,
But it wasn't called Suited and Booted.
It was Suited and Booted was going
right.
at that point, but so we both then came into partnership with it.
Right. Okay. So then, what was your vision for Suited and Booted before you even?
That's a good question. I think me and Calvin even talked about our own vision we were speaking about that the other day actually, about what our vision was together and what that looked like. And I don't ever think we really understood what it was going to be, right? We knew it was going to be something special. We knew the competition in the market, we could probably beat it and become market leaders in this region. But at that time, I think a lot of our headspace was more about just improving the product, getting a first shop. Again, the 4 or 5 year plan wasn't actually in place, right? For us at that time, it was just like, get through the next 12 months. What does that look like and how can we get there in a shorter period of time? And that's what we've always that's been our philosophy for the last few years, to be honest with you, from our side, is we speak about it often and we always get asked, what's the 5 year, 10 year plan? But we've got like the 12 months to 24 month plan, right? And we've always stuck with that and pushed towards that as a team.
Right. So then what was it like at the start then? As I'm guessing,
horrible.
Even moving to Dubai before starting over Suited and Booted, would there be family being like, oh, you shouldn't go there, doing things like that. But then to take a risk in a place that's something so new, how was that like at the start for you?
I think like to touch on what Ryan said, like by nature, we're obviously both entrepreneurial, both risk takers. So the truth is, what would maybe seem like a risk to other people, to us is like second nature. You know, like same thing you touched on, like moving to Dubai. I didn't feel was a risk because, you know, you were in a job in the UK on not very great money. Surrounded, you know, you look to the person to your left who's worked there for 15 years on, you know, okay wages, but nothing to sort of, you know, strive towards. So leaving an environment like that's not a risk. And people are like, oh, moving to Dubai is such a big risk. It's 7 hours on a flight. If I got a train to London, someone wouldn't be saying that was a massive risk. So in my head, I'm like, it's just trying something different to get where you want to be in life. So it was never the business thing. Obviously, I'd seen Ryan's characteristics. Obviously, I loved, you know, tailoring. I was really passionate about clothing and stuff like that. And then I like trusted him implicitly. So to me, again, you know, yes, he was leaving a lot of money or a job, but I was taking the risks, you know, to do something that I loved with somebody that I obviously had that personal relationship with. And
Calvin, I'm sorry to jump in there, mate, but Calvin took quite a big risk because he's really successful in his job before he came on to do what he's doing with me. So he was a top broker in his company. He was making loads of money. I think when you've got that, like Calvin's saying, even that entrepreneurial side, and you can't ever sit still with it, right? You need to go and tickle that itch.
agreed.
Definitely. So what did the family and friends back home and even here, now that you've been living here for a little while, say about it then?
Say about moving to Dubai
or about even starting up the tailoring business.
I think sorry, on you go.
On you go, mate.
I think obviously for me, like Ryan and I spoke for God knows how long about it, but we spoke about it loads, right? And then I would probably say the person I spoke to most of it would be my dad, and gave him, you know, what the sort of plan was and what we're thinking. And yeah, he never really tried to put me off it, to be honest. Like I think he understood you know, what the vision was. And again, to go back to the risk thing, to me it was like, well, we can try it for a year, and then if it doesn't work, we can go back to doing what I'm currently doing. I didn't honestly view it as a massive risk. And I viewed the situation like, if I don't explore this opportunity, I could live in regret, thinking, oh, why have I not tried that? And you do meet a lot of people saying, oh, I had this idea or whatever. So to me, that is not an option. Like, you need to, like Ryan said, you need to scratch the itch.
Yeah. Okay, so then going back to the start, was there then a big milestone that where you went, oh, we can get this really, really going? Or was it one singular client, or was it a build up of clients?
I think there's been, I spoke about this recently, there's been multiple touch points. Like, the business actually took off quite quickly, to be honest with you, and we had no money for marketing to start, absolutely anything, and the client base grew just through word of mouth, quality, service aspect of it as well. And then one of our biggest parts, probably for ourselves, that kind of put us on the map, was this store. It was we got our first store on our own production next door. I remember when Calvin phoned me up and he goes, I finally found the location. And I'm like, right, mate, we'll come up and all that. We had no money at the time. We'll come in, and it was actually, this used to be a call centre, didn't it?
It was a call centre for a cleaning company.
Right, okay.
And
it had holes in the wall, everything. Calvin's walked me through it. He's got, this place is going to be great. We're going to have rooms in there.
We can see if we can get some of the photos, but mate, it was terrible. Like, there was no bathroom. There's like literally a hole in the floor. It was like going into like a really old school, abandoned school, like carpet tiles, holes in the walls. Yeah. I was like, Ryan, 150k, mate, we'll get this place. And he was like, are you mad? So like everything we've learned with the old fit out game, it cost twice as much and took twice as long. But that was our first, because when, like, obviously in the store there's 3 rooms, right? When we first moved into here, the only room we actually seen clients was here. And Ryan having the chat going, well, people, because we're all mobile at that point, we're like, well, people want to come in. Do you think they'll still prefer home service? But our biggest hope was in a controlled environment, we could give people a better experience. And yeah, like, I'd probably say relatively quickly, like maybe 50-60% of clients wanted to come to us. So that was a bit of a light bulb moment. We're like, right, although it was founded on the mobile element, that people do want that experience in the process.
I remember panicking about that though. I remember thinking,
talking about
nobody's going to come to the store. We're all mobile. That was the thing. But actually looking back, it turned quite quickly, right? And I think people like to actually go in, like Calvin said there, and get that experience, get the coffee. How's it going? Chill out for a bit. we're all busy people, right? We get caught up in our own life sometime, and I think just taking yourself back sometimes and offering that experience in any business goes a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
So then you were saying about like you got the store and everything like that. What when you started was the problem with Dubai's tailoring market? As you guys have said, you noticed a lot of things weren't as efficient or the quality wasn't as good. What were you breaking? What were you like hoping to do then with it?
A big part of our what we've done here, and I think it's worked really well, and again people's try to replicate it after we came to the market and done it, is the style consultancy and advice, right? When you come in, you're getting somebody that really cares about the product, really cares about the service, cares about you as a person, how they can connect with you. Like, we're not just our tailors who you come and buy a suit from and leave. Like, we're a brand and a community, right? And a lot of places and businesses touch on that, but we emphasize on that. Like, our guys will go out your way to help you with your business, your work, how can they connect you with people, what can they do for you, and then in turn, basically, majority of the time, 110% of the time, actually, people go out their way to help you out as well.
Yeah, I'd touch on that as well. Like, we have, it's a bit of a marketing cliche, but we have built a community around our brand. First and foremost, like, we've evolved the product. We started off with, you know, an understanding of bespoke, but we've immersed ourselves in that and learned that every single day for however long, and really just put the quality of the product and the different things we offer by introducing the casual wear, the women's wear, the outer wear. Like, that's something that we care so much about. So once we've got the product absolutely perfect, and we're always trying to improve it, but we've really then tried to build like sort of business relationships, and, you know, introduce our clients to each other, give our clients experience, whether that be, you know, days at the race and days at the golf. And Ryan said that community element to our brand has been reciprocated then by our clients, which is, I think, definitely been one of the sort of driving factors of the success in a short period of time.
Yeah. So you do a lot of partnerships as well. A big one for me is Rangers. I have to mention it as a fan. So how did that come about? If you can get into the little bit of the detail of that.
Yeah, I think so. We obviously, again, that was something that Ryan and I over a couple of beers did discuss, that, you know, how cool would that be? But it was just something that we knew that we wanted to do, but we were so busy with the sort of Dubai operation. But a couple of the players were over and they reached out to basically get booked in. And then we dressed John Lundstrom, and then also we dressed Alan McGregor. And then, you know, thankfully we got on really, really well, then became really good friends. And Cheryl offered to introduce us to James Bisgrove, who was the CEO at the time. And just had, conversations multiple times with him and myself and Ryan. And, you know, we just essentially put our best foot forward and said, like, as lifelong fans, we'd love to do something with the club. And yeah, it's all kind of fell into place after that. So it's been apart from watching them, it's been it's been a total pinch me moment.
Hard to watch them at the moment, is it?
Fingers crossed we'll turn it around.
I know. So what about that side of the business as well? So of course you have some mostly individual clients, and they come into the shop and they'll buy a suit or buy a few suits for themselves. But how much of a percentage of the business is that? Like, for example, sporting teams or companies that need a lot of suits made for an event?
The partnerships for us has been a huge part of our brand, and I think it's not just been Glasgow Rangers, but we've now branched into Saudi. So we dressed two of the teams in Saudi. Al Ittihad, where Benzema is, which is obviously one of the biggest names in football. Al Qasiyad, they're on the border as well. They had Nacho from Real Madrid and stuff like that. So we've been over and started branching into other industries. One of the biggest things we do here is the golf clubs. So we actually dress most of the golf clubs in the UAE, Dubai and Abu Dhabi specifically. So it's great brand exposure for us, and it doesn't even you're tapping into another fan base or commercial base off the back of it as well.
Yeah, so it's even just with the golf clubs and that, is that like the caddies and everything, they're all getting
it tends to be
the top people in the top
it tends
club?
to be like the senior people within the organization. So the senior people within the organization, and then there's also sometimes if people win like a prestigious competition, they then get the opportunity to come and get dressed by us. So you're essentially one of the kind of angles with these kind of relationships is you partner with people that, you know, embody the same sort of mentality that you do as a brand. and then you get to meet the senior people within that organisation. We always try and lead with a lot of value. We don't ask anyone to endorse us as a business unless they've experienced what we do and what we can offer. And when you kind of show that level of quality and service to the people at the top of an organisation, then it tends to sort of trickle down, and then you can just leverage that relationship basically by adding a lot of value at the beginning. Something that's again worked really well for the expansion.
And that doesn't need to just be for tailoring, that could be for anybody's brand, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
So then, used to have came up together for the whole process. Was it just used to? Did you have any staff on at the early start, or were you on your own up for a wee while?
Yeah, so it's
How long was that?
for us too.
Aye.
6 years, 7 years, can't remember. 6 years.
No, I think we employed, we brought in our first like salesperson, which is who's now our brand manager. So we employed Ailey. It was just after COVID. So up until that point,
6 months in, 7 months in.
7 months.
Yeah. Maybe a bit later, actually. We've got the shop at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was after we got the shop. It was the early days are a bit of a blur, mate.
We basically got our shop and then COVID happened. So we put all our money into the shop, bought all the equipment, all the machinery, got all everybody's visas involved, brought everybody into the one location. And 2 or 3 weeks later, it was COVID and we had to shut the shop. So panic stations happened then. But yeah, like Calvin said, it's a bit of a blur.
It was that was a mad situation, because we obviously the fit out cost a lot more than what we'd literally bought all the furniture on our credit card. And then we were like buzzing, like, right, here we go. And then 2 weeks later, we were locked in the house.
So how did then COVID affect you? How did that? Was it well? Would have been quite drastic, obviously. But were you doing online at that point in time, or were you?
I think for us it was like we went from basically being ridiculously busy, like working 12, 13 hours a day, out and about constantly. We're like passing ships. We only saw each other for, maybe an hour or two at the end of the day or in the start of the day. So we went from that extreme level of being busy. We couldn't obviously leave the house. So then we had time to think and strategize.
We put the time to good use. So we actually started contacting suppliers in Italy, upgrading the product we had, market research into it. I actually started looking for more staff members at that point as well. So I know it was a scary time in the sense there was no financials coming in. All funds stopped and we had salaries to pay, right? But looking back, it was probably a pivotal time for us to upgrade ourselves in the brand. So we put the time to good use.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, with hindsight, although I wouldn't have believed at the time, I do actually think it worked out for the better, because it gave us space and time to think. The financial side of thing is obvious, right? Having 15, 20 staff and not having any money to pay everyone, which we obviously had to self-fund at that point, was extremely stressful. But the beauty of it was we had time to come out of it with a more strategic plan of attack, because like Ryan said, it was so busy we didn't have time to think. And I think that's something that a lot of businesses struggle with.
So then was that also the busyness, you're going to need new staff and more people helping you. How important was that for growth, having the staff and extra people around you for the business to expand?
It came at the right time, to be honest with you. I think like you've got to learn your lessons and get in the trenches at the start of a business. I don't think like a lot of people want to be somewhere quickly where they're not supposed to be, right? There's so much we've learned over the last 8 years running this, and there's mistakes we've made and things we've got right and things we could have done differently. And some mistakes we're so glad we made because you wouldn't make them again going forward. And I think when you're at that adjustment stage, and especially at the early days, and it's just the 2 years and you don't have many money for X, Y, and Z, and you need to think on your feet, you take that creativity with you forward, right? So then when the staff do come in, you're ready to then go and you're ready to teach them what you've learnt, right, as well. So then they start expanding with you. So I think we've brought the right staff on, we've got all the right expansion, everything's all happened at the right time. And I think we live in a now culture, which is pretty bad, right? Everybody wants everything now. We live in, especially in Dubai, you can get stuff delivered to your house in 15 minutes. There's actually an app called Minutes. Yeah. Everything comes to your house in 15 minutes. Mental, right? And that's the way we're programmed now. But success takes time, success takes work, success takes hard graft, and it's not an easy thing. And I think a lot of people, again, get caught up in the quickness of life, but good things take time, right? So for us, at all the moments we've had the right staff members come in and we've had the right thing, we've built, we've expanded, it's all been the right moment of time for us.
So with you two then coming up together, how do you split it? Is one a financially more expertise guy and is one better at tailoring, for example? I know you will probably argue about that. Who's the better tailor? But,
We're getting into it now, bro.
That's in both. That's the most we've moved.
I think it's not really definitive.
I'm the best at tailoring.
We basically involve each other in pretty much every decision. But there's certain things that we would like divide and conquer with, like you can deal with that project or that business relationship, but as a general rule, when it comes to like the overarching business strategy, in terms of the finance meetings, we both go to all of them, and there's no I wouldn't say there's a specific thing that that we deal with. We try and get involved in everything.
The big thing for me is, and I really like about having a partner in business, it's you have good days and bad days, but even within that as well, you both, even though you sort of think the same and the goal's the same, you still slightly think different, right? There's stuff I hear for Calvin, I'm like, fucking hell, that's a class idea, do you know what I mean? And then vice versa. So you both bring different things to the equation. I think that's why we've expanded so fastly without any funding, without bringing anybody else on. We're both thinking differently and outside the box, but again, with the same end goal, which is important,
for the
right?
greater good of the
and
business.
We've never, touch wood, we've never fell out in that sense for anything, but for us, it's been let's get there, and how can we get there together?
And it's been it's like a good sounding board. Like sometimes I'll maybe have an idea and I'll be like, Ryan, what do you think about this? And he'll sort of be like, well, I don't think that, but maybe you could do it that way. So that's like, success loves speed, right? So we've managed to make relatively quick decisions about things. That's why we don't have anybody to answer. Like we have a chat, we maybe sleep on it, come back to it the next day. Then as soon as we're aligned on it, we'll crack on and implement it straight away, which is a nice position to be in, right?
Yeah. So I know you've just said it, you've kind of answered that there, but you said no fallouts. But even at the start, there's not been one where you could be like,
no,
but that was never going to happen. Like you could have completely changed the direction of it. No.
I think for us, we've been lucky in that sense. We've not got any egos in it, mate, to be honest with you. And I think, again, like Calvin's touched on that, speed and profits, one of the massive factors of success, as much as it is. It takes time, but yeah, I agreed. I think for us, we're just in the business of making this work.
I would say the only things that we would debate, like obviously, do we do that now or does that happen later? Like with the kind of headline business goals is so like ingrained in both of us. It's never an argument or anything. It's just like a discussion on the 10%, or you know, if we do something now or later, or we would agree on the plan, but maybe the execution of that. But it gets ironed out pretty quick.
So it gets worked out for the
We've
greater good
not-
of the business.
We've not got time to fall out, mate. We'd be struggling.
Well, then I guess on the other side of that, then what's one thing that you used to both admire about each other, working business wise, and maybe for example you couldn't do that he can, or vice versa.
Do I go first?
I'll go first.
That's nice.
It's hard to think of one actually. I think to be like, especially from the very beginning, the thing I was obviously like really impressed with Ryan is he's obviously, the work ethic's an obvious one, so I'm not going to go into detail about that. But I would say it's his capability for personal relationships. Like he does genuinely care, where a lot of people it's a bit shallow in the sense that, you know, transactional, but he genuinely does care about the client, the experience, and he would even now would lose sleep over things that some people wouldn't care about. And I think that care for the client and the business and the brand is something that's, you know, quite it's just incredible, you know. And that's not something I've not even seen that change in him 1% over this whole period. So it's a really, really important, you know, element to the business, and will never change really.
Yeah.
That was kind of, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know, not normally you get three Scottish guys saying nice things about each other on a podcast.
We'll get the bad things in later.
For me, for Calvin, he's hyper focused. He's got laser focus, actually, doesn't he? When he's got something in his mind, he's got it at 100 miles an hour, and nothing really gets in his way. And I think that's probably helped a big part of the growth of the brand, right? When he gets an idea for something, got some big projects and that coming up, he just goes, right, how do I make this work? And I'm no stop until it is actually up and running, working. And his task list, which I see on a daily basis, is astronomical, and there's not many people I can see actually crack on with it as well and get through it the way he does. So yeah, again, I think we're going back to the what makes the business successful and how it has been successful is that yin and yang as well. So like there is stuff that he'll crack on me and he'll just get through it, and his tick list is some of the best CEOs in the world just go through their tick list and bang, 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 bang. Like Jeff Bezos has 15-minute meetings, right? And he's like, right, has the 15-minute meetings, want the next thing. So that's Calvin to a T.
Yeah. So we get two very important aspects of your business then. You needing to stay focused and the continuancy to just get stuff done. But also as well, a large part of tailoring and in sales, the sales world is like the connection you're making with people. How important is that? I know that's a key factor of Suited and Booted, and what you guys pride yourself on is having a great relationship with people, so they come back and want to keep coming back.
Most brands have missed that, mate, and I think especially the big brands now, like labels have such a pull for people, and they always will do it. There's a place for them in the market. It's one of the biggest brands in the world. You just go in there because of the hype, the label, but in here we generally do care about that person. Like, and that's again going back to the original comment. What made you different from all the other tailors in Dubai? Like, I wouldn't let anybody leave, and the staff wouldn't let anybody leave unless the suit was perfect, or if it needs something tweaked. We would rather you came back one more time to get that perfect, and it's a cost to us to actually do that, rather than the guy leaving or the woman leaving and think, oh, I could have had that a bit better. So for us, we go above and beyond. That's the heartbeat of the business, right? And that's how, again, like if you have a great experience somewhere, you go to a great restaurant, hotel, whatever it is, you're inclined to tell your mate about it, right? When you sit down, stuff like that. So I always put that in the staff's heads as well. Like, people tell the people good things, right?
Yeah. So then, you were saying you didn't use any like marketing or anything at the start as well. You do now, and you've got a few people coming in and people that are coming back. What strategies do you use to attract new people into the door?
I think the old school method is that's worked the best for us has literally been referrals. We do all the traditional marketing methods, you know, Instagram, SEO. We spend a lot of money creating good content around our brand, and you know, you've touched on the brand partnerships, but the best thing for us has been doing a good job. Like, it's having a tailor's like a personal relationship. You come 2 or 3 times out the process, you leave knowing a lot about that person, and that's something that we both enjoy, because that's like you meet people, you know, in a range of different industries. So we use that as education, like business school, chat to people, bounce things off of them. But at the end of that, you know, if they leave with something they're super happy with, you've maybe taught them how to dress better, or something we hear all the time, this is the best suit I've ever had, this is the best shirt I've ever had. Like, there's an emotional element to that. And you're the guy, or you're the person behind the brand that's helped bring that to them. So that's a cool thing, and ultimately they'll tell people about that. And I don't think there's a marketing strategy in the world that can outperform that, to be honest.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, I'd say it as well, because Dubai obviously is a very tapped in market now, especially, I don't know if it was so much at the time, but I imagine it would be, considering it's still Dubai. But again, there's a lot of tailors out there. Even if I could mention DIFC. If you go down to that gate, it's just all tailors.
Tailor shops everywhere.
And a lot of them are big branded different tailors that are from around the world. Yeah. So it is just tapping into that market, really. That
competition's good, mate. And I think like competition's phenomenal. Actually, we actually strive off it. We actually get a bit of a buzz off having competition in the market, and how can you one up, or how can you get better. And like for us, like that keeps you moving forward as well as good. But the main focus for us is like to be the best. Do you know what I mean? So in the back of our mind, we get up every morning to build the best tailor shop in the world. So we don't care about 20 shops there, 50 shops there. How can we make our service better, our product better, our events better? What we got on the go? How do we get to that level quickly, and how do we do it now? Is our main focus.
Even like obviously naturally people in business or clients try and talk to you about the competition. See, the truth is, half of the people, they say to me, I don't even know the names of them, or I've never heard about them before, because we focus our attention internally. Running a business is intense, right? And we've got, Ryan touched on the to-do list. Our to-do list is ridiculous. So like, we're not interested in sitting watching what anyone else is doing. We know that if we focus that internally, make the product better, elevate the service, resolve all the sort of small intricacies we're working on. That's what's going to get you where you need to be. Like the other people in the market think it's good, like, you know, thrive in competition.
Yeah. So you, so to say that as well, you're not really focusing on the competition. You focus on how good you guys are.
There's too many. There's literally 200 odd tailor shops in Dubai, mate. So
we're the competition.
How many was there when you first started?
probably about the same. 140, 150,
There's
100.
probably more.
There's probably
Probably
more.
more, right? And what about the big brands coming in and all that? It's just the same though, because you're bespoke and you're caring for your.
Soulless, mate. I think a lot of the big brands. Don't get me wrong. There's the big brands. You can take a lot from them. Look at really, really smart, intellectual people working behind the brand. So there's snippets of the bigger brands when you go. You walk in a store. How's that presented? Like, you can take note of that.
Yeah.
And we've got a team of people who do that for us. Like, head of marketing can tell you what's going on in the market, that side of things. But for us, like, we know our product and our service is at a point where they don't have that. Like, when's the last time you walked into a big brand to remember your name and sit you down and got a coffee with you and caught up with you? How's the football score? Don't care.
Yeah.
So for us, that caring part of our business, and like, how can we improve that? Well, we've got some big plans to even get that to the next level for us.
So then you've started out here in Dubai. At what point was Suited and Booted becoming a not a one-stop shop anymore? It was going international or to Abu Dhabi.
I think it was just a natural progression, right? Like, you know, unfortunately by our nature, like, you can't sit still. Like, we've got a list of places, and we speak about it almost daily. Like, where's the next one going to be? The Abu Dhabi one was a no-brainer because we had clients in Abu Dhabi. We were making the trip back and forward. Same market. The caliber of person in Abu Dhabi is super strong, and it made super sense. It's only an hour down the road. The Scotland one was we were both joked about Scotland. We were like, you know, it'd be so good to have one back home. Not just people. I think some people view that as like
our families were a bit like, what he's doing, going back to Glasgow, basically open up a store at the time was.
Yeah, like I think sometimes people thought it was just like, oh, we'll open one back home, just like because that where you're from. But it was more thought out than that. Same thing. Did an assessment of the competition in the market. We've experienced a huge crossover. There's a lot of clients who shop with us here, move back to the UK, or their connections we've got in the UK that people that we know from UK then shop with us when they move here. So it was a logical, thought through decision. But yeah, a lot of people tried to put us off it, to be honest.
Well, what was their main reason about it then? Just thinking that sure you're just doing that because you're
people have a perception, especially Scotland at the moment, and Scotland's there's a lot of affluent people in Scotland. There's a lot of people doing well for themselves. Scotland's a lot of people getting married in Scotland. There's a lot of people who've saved up money to go and treat themselves right. Yeah. And we thought we could bring a bit of that Dubai aspect and service back to Scotland. Like, you come in with your dad to get your wedding suit. What does that look like? How does the experience look like? What's the touch points on that? And how can you make that memorable for you, right? The women get to have a good day back home as well, and they're going to pick up their wedding dress. So for us to sort of bring that full 360 experience back home, and then we introduced the women's wear back home as well, which has been really successful in the Glasgow store. I think for us, it was also a little bit of a like, right, let's go back and make this work. We can do it. We've got the capabilities and skills to actually put ourselves in the map in Scotland as well.
I think people telling us it wasn't a good idea probably made us kick on a bit. Well, I think we're the worst people in the world to say I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, I mean, I can kind of understand why, because as well, a lot of people, high street shops and things are closing down every day now, and it's a hard one to get going in that retail industry now. Everything's online.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest comments from people. Like, retail's dying a death. The high street, like you walk down any high street in the UK and it's like a shadow of what it used to be. But again, we think that that's not because there's not a demand for it. It's because the way that they're either like sort of fast fashion and people have fell out of love with it, or the person doesn't understand their consumer. Like, we believe that we offer an incredible product at a really, really good price point. There's obviously all the things around it. There's not really many places in the world that I don't think we could make a Suited and Booted work. It's just about, you know, the people to embody the vision of the company.
So yeah, okay. So even like, as you say, Dubai is a very luxurious, as per se, lifestyle. A lot more people will be have more money, for example, than the average person back home in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like then? Is it more bespoke, or is it less bespoke, or
Yeah, so for us, we've actually got a product that starts off to rival Hugo Boss. It's in the £600 range as well for ready to wear. But when we originally launched Glasgow specifically, we thought, oh, most of our business is going to be a ready to wear business. But it's actually been the opposite, to be honest with you. A lot of our business has been bespoke, made to measure, and we've got such a wide product depth as well. So when people picture bespoke or made to measure, they put a price point at it, which is pretty high. But we've actually got some products in there as well, which people can then come and shop at, just even dip their toe in the water. We've got bespoke knitwear, made to measure jeans.
Yeah.
So guys can come in and pick up something at a reasonable price point and actually get that full made to measure experience as well, which is uncommon back home.
Yeah. How much of that then do you then see repeat customers again? So they're coming in just to have a look, or maybe get a pair of jeans, for example, and then say they are saving up for a good suit, they've chosen to come to you now instead, or do you see that
Yeah,
happen quite a lot?
the repeat business has been massive. So in both markets, the Middle East market, our client retention is extremely high. Like when we have conversations with other people that have got businesses and we quote our repurchase rate, it's unmatched. I've not seen another business that has that kind of consistency. And the same thing, Glasgow's been open like sort of 15 months now. Same thing, we've now got people coming back and spending, and through having the ready to wear stuff like nice shirts, swimming shorts, like this type of thing, it's become somewhere that we've tried to change the perception. It's not a tailor's, it's a fashion house, right? You can come and you can get a range of different products, and then you can treat yourself for that bespoke thing, like getting handmade knitwear or handmade jeans. That's a product offering that doesn't really exist. So some guys that, I wouldn't go to a tailor's, I don't wear suits. It's just getting into people's head, regardless of how you dress, you can have bespoke pieces in your wardrobe.
It's a class experience as well for people. If you've never tried it before and you get something made for yourself, you don't usually want to go back the way.
It does. Even when I first came here, it's amazing. The first time you come, you're not even getting the suit the first day, but you realise it's worth a 3-week wait or how long it is, because you feel amazing in it. But honestly,
it's a nice treat for yourself
Thank
as
you.
well. Thank you, I appreciate that.
We put a bar in the Glasgow store as well, so that never hurt. Doubled up that experience.
Just try to get my dad out it.
Yeah, you're making double the money. Anyway, that'd be brilliant. So it's took off back home in Glasgow and that as well. Were there any big challenges though that you faced there compared to back here?
Of course there is. I think there's always going to be challenges with new businesses. There's a lot of internal, and like you're even thinking like it started off really, it boomed at the start and then it went a little bit quiet at month 5 or 6, and then what happened was after January, it was open about 8 months at that point. It was kind of established business, more and more people knew about it, and the thing just took off, and it's not slowed down. We keep having back-to-back record months, which is amazing.
Nice. Brilliant. So have you got anywhere planned else that you can say?
Loads.
Loads, yeah.
We're not getting that exclusive yet.
Yeah.
We'll charge you for that.
So has that been the most challenging leap then, at your point in time?
I think just because we weren't there, to be honest with you, like we've got a great team in place to do an amazing job, but like we're here, we're in the business day to day. Do you know what I mean? So for it, I went back for a few months at the start. And yeah, there's just it's just getting the team all just basically have the same vision, same goals, and we've got that in place, right? So you're seeing the results off the back of that now.
So are you still heavily involved in the Dubai one then, or are you now overlooking all the three? I know you will be overlooking, but are you more spaced back from this now and focusing on the bigger picture point of that? Or
I think the truth is that we still get involved in everything. It's grown rapidly, so we are trying to, we are putting a team in place to take care of certain elements of the business. Like there's a separate team for marketing, there's obviously the manufacturing. We've built out a lot of structure around that. We're doing everything we can to create a structure that allows us to add the value in the best places we can, but I don't really think that there's many areas of the business we don't have a working understanding of exactly what's going on, because we need to.
Yeah. And is that how then you keep it in the tailoring world? Is that how then you keep it personal to the people? Is that's a big point in it? Yeah. So has the style evolved from when you first started, or is it the same boxes?
There's definitely been some changes.
Yeah, there has. I think there's been there's definitely been some changes. I think for ourselves as well, the way we used to dress and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think we used to go and fit people up in black skinny jeans and a black waistcoat and a shirt and tie. But yeah, no, the style's definitely changed. I used to get a hard time about the way we used to dress back in the day when we were younger. But yeah, no, the style. I think a lot of especially with the offices, a lot of people ask that actually, is it still formal? Is it smart casual? But I think there's a mix. I think you can dress for the way you want to dress, right? And I think the cool thing for us is we can offer such a wide range of products. So if it is more, you work in a tech business and you want to dress a bit more smart casual, you can do. Yeah. And if it's more formal based and you want in a law office, we can accommodate for both clientele, right? And I think it's important to dress for where you work, and like getting a suit especially is such an emotional purchase, right? People that come in for it, you're coming in for like their graduation, their wedding day, whatever. There's always usually an emotional attachment to coming in for a suit for us, and we get to, which is pretty cool for our brand, we get actually be a part of that journey with a lot of people. So keeping it personal, styles change, whatever it is, we can accommodate, and people have got their own styles as well. Don't get me wrong, we get some people coming in, you're like, we'll make it, but don't tell anybody. But yeah, we've got that side of it as well, which is cool.
So, but any major trends? I know yous have obviously grown up a bit into the style that yous have got to now, but like for example, over the years, has there been different blocks where you could feel like, oh, people are loving this type this year or whatever, like, you know?
I think for us, because we are actually true bespoke, we literally make from scratch. So other tailors will be limited to, they'll be working in the parameters that they've got if they're working with a third party supplier, or, you know, a lot of brands have to purchase their clothes 6 months, 12 months, usually 12 months ahead of schedule. But because we make it ourselves, we can pivot so quickly. So we've actually tried out designs, or Ryan and I have thought about doing a different trouser style or a different jacket style. We've then done that for one client and it's just went crazy. And then you're selling hundreds of them. So, you know, we essentially have put ourselves in a position that we can set trends in the market, we can evolve products, and we can do things a lot faster and a lot more original than most other companies because of the sort of nature of the setup.
Yeah. Okay. So you can kind of adapt basically to whatever you want, and due to you doing it yourselves, you're fine, and you're not limited to anything. So if someone comes in asking something crazy in a Laurel Piana thing, you can do it.
We can do it.
You can do it
within reason.
There is still that style consulting element of it as well, where you do guide people, because it's quite a daunting thing for some people to actually come into our tailors, and I think that, like, you see that with some clientele come in, especially for the first time. A lot of our clients are first time purchasers as well, so they'll come in and they'll be like, right, how does this work? Does this go? You're seeing fabric swatches, but that's where the style consultant takes over, and then they're like, look, these are the 3 looks I would recommend. This would really look good on you. This is the style that look good on you, and guide you through that. And it takes a peace of mind, right? So you don't want to come in and think, what will that look like when it's finished, whatever. Like, they can actually bring you out examples they've actually made before, show you pictures, etc. as well. So it makes it a bit more easy and puts the client at ease.
Yeah, I think that was the thing with me when I even came in as well. Again, I keep going back to that, but you don't. So a lot of people think they know what they want and everything, but then when one of your tailors does come in and they're saying they think that and that, you do actually see the colours actually match a lot better. It could be a little tone, of the shirt. Like, for example, I'm wearing a pink today, but I may have only wore white before. He told me that it looks actually good with that. Yeah, and things like that. So it's very interesting how little things do intake it and change it in a way. So do you see tailoring as timeless? Do you think it will never be a thing, or are you going to adapt with the way a fashion industry flows?
I think tailoring is timeless, right? People have been, well, at the very beginning, clothes had to be made by hand, right? So essentially that has been a constant since people have been wearing clothes. They've been made by hand, and I think obviously it'll evolve, right? But certain things also do cycles. Like, you see, like the old school suits with the super structured shoulders and really boxy. That's kind of more structured looking. A bit more of a fuller trouser is actually coming back in fashion. So I think there'll always be that repetition and that sort of variation. I think what's changed it recently is a lot of the big fabric brands have introduced a lot of technical fabrics, which have got like elastane, stretch, and there's a lot more people more comfortable with wearing smart casual. But that's something we love because we've then been able to create bespoke things that are smart casual, that have got that stretch, and that's something that people are then coming in and saying, I'm dressed in a super comfortable way, but it looks unreal.
Yeah.
So I think, for me personally, that's something I've enjoyed more because you can be more expressive on different cloths and different looks, and just create unique things that are sort of maybe the first time a certain thing's been done.
Yeah. So is Buy Smiths in a big project behind the scenes? I know you've got a lot of smart casual things out,
Yeah.
and they are good. I've got a few t-shirts and shirts myself, and again, like you say, they are super comfy. You could think they were pajamas. You could fall asleep in them.
Yeah.
But they look amazing still. They do look really good. So is that something that's always just going to continue evolving on the side of the tailoring part of that? Is that
Buy Smiths was basically just and I think it'll grow a bit more in the next stages of the business, but I keep going to say what I'm not supposed to say, by the way, and the marketing team's going to shoot me. But yeah, from our side, yeah, it's definitely growing. I think, look, in Dubai, you kind of had Massimo Dutti, Zara, H&M, or Gucci, Harvey Nicks. So there was nothing really in between for guys to come in and buy something at quality at a price point. And from our tailoring knowledge and background and knowing what people were asking for and it was missing in the market and actually engaging with your customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds daft, but people don't actually engage with their customers anymore, which is crazy. Like, what do you think would be good? What's missing from your wardrobe? What would you like? A good quality t-shirt that you could sit about and feel like you could sleep in, but it looks amazing on a night out.
Yeah.
Done. We'll make it. And we put it out there. So for us, it's actually finding gaps in the market and communicating that with the customers as well. Obviously does well, but yeah, the plan is to grow it.
It's a big thing as well with the suits as well. I know you feel amazing, you look good and all that, but sometimes it is just a nightmare to have a suit on or even just getting them on every day. It's like, it is a bit of a pain.
Comfort's key, mate, and I think we've got Calvin touched on that. We've got some of the best fabrics in the world. We work with some of the best fabric manufacturers that are on the planet, and they've got a lot of technical fabrics out now, which again we are sitting down, like even today, like they're super comfy, they've got a bit of stretch in them. You don't actually feel like you're wearing a suit at that point, and that's people are going for comfort, right?
Mm-hmm. And obviously the suppliers and that, they're always getting new fabrics and stuff in.
They're doing the hard work for you most of the time. We always talk about that. Like they're actually producing like the technical cloths. They can see what's happening in the market. They can see what people's asking for. They're spending hundreds of millions on market research for that, and they're coming to us with that, which is cool. And the reciprocal side of that as well. They'll actually, if you go to them and say, listen, this is what I think would be good for the market, they're happy to try and test things for you as well.
Okay, brilliant. So here's a big question then. Where do you see Suited and Booted in 5 to 10 years?
There you go, Calv.
It's a tough one, that. Like, to be honest with you, that is a question like Ryan touched on earlier. Everyone asks that. What's the 5-year plan? What's the 10-year plan? We could give you a couple of hours and recant the overarching vision, but I think the truth is, like, we've got something super exciting about to launch next year. And my understanding is there'll be nothing like it in the world. So that's step one. And we've got step 2 and 3 in the locker as well, which we're again already been working on in the background. So the more locations, obviously, some incredible experiences around the brand, or certain options for people who are at a certain level within the spend or within that personal relationship we'll get to utilize. And the main focus of the business is the same. Ryan touched on, like, our goal is to build the world's best tailors, and that's that's not to disrespect other people in the market, right? Because there's people that have been doing it a lot longer than us, and that have maybe second or third generation. But why would we not strive to be the best? And we think that what we've got coming is definitely going to put us up there.
Exciting times.
So what's the biggest lesson you have both learnt from this whole entire journey?
That's a tough one.
Biggest lesson I've learned?
Biggest lesson.
There's been a few, hasn't there?
Yeah,
loads.
It could be a few.
Loads. Somebody said something to Calvin last year and he recited it to me last week, and it's so true, right? the stuff you're stressed about the now and the stuff that's not making you sleep at night and the anxiety and everything else, in 12 months' time, you'll have bigger problems than that, and you wish that was your problems. And I think even looking back at it now, the problems we had last year and thought was the biggest problems in the world, I would take night and day over the problems
Yeah.
we've got
I remember
right now.
him saying that to me and thinking, why would I wish for the problems I've got at the moment? Like, is that guy mad? But it's the penny's fully dropped this year.
Yeah, and then you don't even realise that how big your problems are now, that you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
they were easy compared to that's
yeah.
standard. You've done
Yeah.
that 4 times over this year. But
Yeah, agreed.
I think something that's came out of our business coaching is like your problems are the biggest thing in the world to you, right, at the time. And if one of your friends or relatives explained an issue that they were having, you would maybe think it isn't an issue. So I would say sometimes people's problems are too small. Like if your problems is a small problem, although not to discredit that, we've got actual big problems to deal with in business. Like although from the outside perception is that everything's doing really well, and of course it is, but building a business and growing a business, you do have massive issues to deal with. So I would say sometimes that give yourself if you're gonna have to deal with problems in life regardless, give yourself proper ones to deal with.
yeah, okay. Have you got anything to add on that?
I think I think I touched on before. I think looking back at the last 8 years, mate, I think challenges always come and go. Like and it's how you adapt, how you overcome it, right? And then a big part of our life and everything's been the people we surround ourselves with. We're so lucky in this game. We get to surround ourselves with a lot of high net worth individuals, right? People that's been through the trenches, like people that's been through the shit, and you get to sit down and ask them, how did they get on with that? What happened with that? Like last week we had someone come up, you phone up one of our clients who's very successful and goes, this is what I'm dealing with now, how would you deal with that problems? And surrounding yourself with people who can take you to the next level is so important. And it's like your network is your net worth. Do you know what I mean? Like who you're in the room with, what conversations will happen, like who you're going for lunch with. And everybody's got time to do it, right? You've got somebody in your phone book or somebody you can reach out to. There's a networking event you can go to try and better your life. And it's not like, for us as people, like we're still doing that. Like tonight I'm going to go and hang about with people who are more successful than me, and I'll ask them questions, I'll get to catch up with them, they'll ask me what's going on in my business and my life and all that, and they can sort of steer you on the right path, right? And I think getting yourself round about these people is probably one of the most important things, and it doesn't matter where you're at in life and what you've got on financially or where you're at in the food chain, like going to do that will elevate you as a person.
So does that then kind of go back to, so you got used to met in the pub?
Yeah.
You've obviously...
We've not been in one in a while, by the way, we've just been working.
It's the last time we enjoyed ourselves.
You've obviously had a drink, met each other, and then continued to have a few drinks over and continue to speak about what is now Suited and Booted. Did that then change? So it's a big thing you've just said there. You're always wanting to speak to people that are always doing better than you, and you can, which is a great part of being a part of the job that you're in. You're speaking to very high net worth individuals at some points that are looking for a few suits or a really nice suit. How important is that then for people and people at home? That, like, you need to surround yourself with people that are doing well.
Agreed. And listen, there's different elements to it, and it's not just we've learned lessons from people that are high net worth, but there's different elements as well. You can also learn from people who are not at that level, who are maybe at the start of their journey, or maybe they've been on the journey and it didn't work out. There's lessons to, I think, like, I'm starting to sound like the business coach guy, but I think if your mind is open to learning, you can learn from people at every part of it. You can either learn what not to do or you can learn what to do. But I think the biggest thing that I've tried to embody is, like, if you see someone that is where you think you're going to be in life, like, do your behaviours match their behaviours, or do your behaviours match somebody who's maybe not where you want to be? And that's probably the biggest thing, like, to actually think, right, no, I can't behave like that, or I can't, if I want to be there, I'm going to have to sacrifice that. That's the biggest thing I'd say.
And again, it's a lot for people at home as well. A lot of people do then go, oh, but you're surrounded by a lot of people. For example, people in Scotland, I know a lot of people that haven't got really anyone to look up to in their phone wise, even in their family or anything
tough, mate.
like that.
It's tough.
It is tough. And
But
I don't mean stop being friends with your friends and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like you have soulmates and people you'll be friends with your whole life, but you need to get out the noise somehow at some point.
I think there's obviously sort of a lot of cool stuff online. I remember Ryan and I, like really early days in Dubai, going to a Les Brown event and listen to that, you know, like that energy and some of the incredible things he said. And that's probably for me personally when I started thinking, like, you know, started reading books. Like I remember reading The Secret when I was a kid, and I probably didn't fully understand it, but I knew there was something that resonated with me. And I think that reading stuff that's like if you watch the news at home, like it's horrific. I think that the UK is getting like poisoned with just constant bad news, constant negative. Like there's so many good things happening in the UK, but nobody talks about them. So I think filling yourself with positivity and, you know, allowing yourself to dream big, which I think sometimes that's discouraged. Like,
yeah, I get that, and Scotland especially, I think it's a lot of people don't want to see you do well. They'd rather see you do no well than them do better themselves. And
agreed, and we've had that conversation. But I'll be honest, and you know, we've obviously we spend a lot of time in the UK because we're back and forward for our business. But we've met some incredible people that have really helped us through the store in Glasgow, through our family, friends. You know, like there is a lot of good in the UK and a lot of good in Scotland and a lot of really amazing entrepreneurial stories at all different levels. And I think that sometimes gets missed, but I think everyone just focuses on the negative side of that. And it's a shame because it is there. It's just not getting spoken about.
Bad news sells, does it?
It's terrible,
bad
man.
Things get talked about. Is there a big mistake that if you could go back in time to your younger selves when you were starting off, where you'd be like, watch out for that one, that'll reshape your path or make you think again?
I think a lot of time it's been lessons, mate, and I'm probably glad about everything we've done wrong as well as we've done right. And I think, like, again, you'd never go back and do the same mistakes again. Those mistakes we make last week or the year before or 5 years ago or 6 years before, like, I think every lesson's everything you've done wrong is a lesson, right? And it's how you react from that.
So, what advice would you give to someone who's wanting to get involved or starting up a business in an already tapped in market? So, like you guys, there was 150 tailors at that time.
I think, obviously, this is a conversation we do have like relatively regularly with people that are interested in starting a business, or although it's an obvious one for me, I think you have to actually care about what you're doing. Like some people might have an idea that fixes a problem, or they've got an idea where they think they've got an angle or an in somewhere. I think that if you're going to do it for the long haul and have a business and build it from scratch, you need to really care about what you're doing, because on the days that it's an absolute shambles and you feel like this is just, you're hitting a brick wall, or it's not going to work out, or is this even worth it? If you don't have that belief in concept or the love of it, I think it would be a challenge.
Well, let's dive deeper into you guys' thoughts during COVID then.
Dangerous that.
Yeah. What was that like? Because obviously, again, you have just spent a load of money. I don't know the background, but what could have been your only amount of money at that point in time, to then make none, still need to pay your staff in hopes of starting up at some point again soon, which ended up was it a year?
Yeah,
you were out or something.
I think it was about that.
Yeah. So, what is it like at that point in time? That's most stress levels must be high. Yeah.
There was ups and downs with it as well. I think again, like, obviously there was anxiety, stress, like what happens if this doesn't get back to normal? How long is this going on for? There's all that element to it as well. We did put the time to good use, but I think there's been so much times in our business where things have went wrong and the stress levels do take their toll. We're human at the end of the day, right? You've got to battle through that, but it's knowing there is an outcome, there is a way to fix it. Like in business, mate, you're just problem solving all day, every day, and putting out fires and try to fix a business. That's all you're doing. Yeah. All day, every day. There's no other, like, people glamorize running a business. You're problem solving, putting out fires, trying to make it better, expanding. That's it. There's nothing else for business, in my opinion, for that side of things. So if you're doing the four things, then your business is going to get through even the worst of times. Like, a disaster can happen tomorrow, right? But the lessons we've learned in the last 8 years we're able to take on the next thing and do the next thing with us. So
Yeah, I think that COVID time was mad, right? Because like you said, like you went from something that should have been such a positive experience to just being like, how we're going to pay everybody, what we're going to do with this, like. But I think I know maybe this is not true for everybody, but Ryan and I have never looked at this with any other mindset than success is not, like, it's not an option for it not to work.
Yeah.
Like, it is going to work. Like, I've never during this whole experience, even when things are going completely tits up, I've never thought this is not going to work. It's either it's going to work and it's going to be unreal. It's just how quickly and how quickly can we learn from our mistakes. Like, I think we're both wired like that. It's no, like, it not working is not even a conversation. And I think, like, if you've got a plan B in your head about something, or you think, oh well, if this didn't work out, I'd do that, you're fucked.
Yeah, the plan B always ends up happening, doesn't it? Well,
Yeah, if that's in your mind,
yeah.
there's only plan A. There's 100 different versions of it, but plan A is the only plan.
So I'm gonna do a few quick fire questions now.
Yeah.
So it's just answer in detail, but you don't need to go as deep down into it. But so who's the most memorable client you've worked with?
for me, probably.
Tough on that.
If I say the wrong name here, film's not coming back.
Do a few versions of it.
Well, cut it out and just different TikToks.
You were.
That's a tough one.
We've done some amazing names over the years. Just recently, we just had Sir Alex Ferguson, the Glasgow shop. There's no many times I'm gutted when somebody comes in. You think I've not had a chance to meet them, but that'd been something special. We had Harry Redknapp in here, great guy, just a gentleman, a guy. He comes across just the same as you'd see him online. He is phenomenal.
His stories were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
We've had some amazing businessmen come through the door. Some big names through that as well. But yeah, there's been a few. I think the list's grown, right?
It's tough to pick because
Yeah.
they've all been cool for different reasons, and we don't want to like. We
Yeah.
don't. But it's been cool, especially like obviously the obvious thing, the football side of things for us has been amazing. But we've had people in like Charlie Appleby, like I love horse racing. That was like incredible. Like Bupat Seymour comes in here. He's sort of world renowned horse trainer, which is incredible. So. It's been really cool to, like, we've been privileged to like meet some of our heroes from different interests or different capacities, and then the obvious one everyone always talks about, the celebrity, but the business person, the person who started from nothing and done exactly what you'd like to do, that's as good as anything, right?
Yeah.
You feed off that.
But how's the suited and booted horse going on? Is that
Running backwards, mate.
The new one's a cracker.
Yeah. Oh, so
It's running the day at 5. Aye. Fingers crossed.
So
That's
what-
been great for us for marketing, to be honest with you. And there's a suit and booty syndicate, and the guy that runs it, Paul's done an amazing job off the back of that. And it's been great for us to also meet new people. And again, going back to that networking, getting creative with things. How can you network faster with better people and same interests?
We've convinced ourselves it's networking, but we just wanted to
Yeah,
buy a
you just
horse.
wanted to buy
No, it has been good.
Is that involved in any? Is it races out here or is it back in the UK?
It's going to run at Maidan this year.
All right, okay,
But
brilliant.
the syndicate's got a lot of horses, so obviously we've started that through our clients. So we own a share in a couple of the horses, and then some of our clients have got them. They had one Mendelssohn Bay, which won a few big races last year.
Yeah,
so
one of the guys
it's been cool, mate, and we love racing as well. So it's been good to sort of network from people from a different world.
What's the process of that then? What goes on with that? Does it then
Speak to Paul and send him some money.
I've got another horse for you, so not getting any more money.
go to the stables and cross your fingers.
So he's got a permanent jockey.
So Bupat Seymour, he is the trainer. And then through the syndicate and the advice of Paul and the guys, we obviously they basically crack on with it, and then you get opportunities to buy 5% or 10% or whatever.
Brilliant. Okay. So I'll ask you both separately. If you could only wear one suit for the rest of your life, what would it look like?
I've just had a 10-minute pitch for Calvin about the one he's wearing before we jumped to the podcast. So
I never wear a suit anymore, by the way. I thought I'd
maybe cut that bit out.
make an effort. No, the Xenia 15mm for me is the absolute creme de la creme. It just feels unbelievable. It was funny. It was in my head. So somebody this morning said to me, they were like, "Oh, that suit's really nice," and they were asking about it, and he was like, "Well, I've got a similar one. Obviously, it's not Xenia." And he was like, "Yeah, it looks just as good, but see, actual wearing this, it feels good."
Yeah.
So it's like it's stuck in my mind that because he's thinking about how it looks from the outside, but when you put something like the quality of the Xenia 15mm, how it feels like
that's the biggest part as
That's
well.
for you, right?
Yeah, some obviously there's different levels to tailoring, different price points, or even our entry level suits are phenomenal suits. But once you start to sort of creep up to the Mills and Xenia and Laura Piana and fabric brands like that, you're working with the best mills in the world, and it feels absolutely amazing when you first
I've
put it
ruined
on.
myself because you
Yeah,
can't
I
go
know,
you
it's
can't
terrible.
go back.
Can't
There's no going
Terrible.
back. There's no going back.
You don't want to be though, anyway. You don't want to be.
No, of
getting
course
that.
not, mate. Of course not.
We've sold ourselves that one as well.
Yeah, that's a good thing about upgrading it as well. You can't go back, so you need to keep going.
Keep
with what
going,
you're
mate.
doing.
It's like when you sit in business class for the first time, you go back and sit in a corner, you're like, no, what am I doing? It's horrible.
It's like when you have like the first time you have a nice whiskey or the first time you have like food that's at that standard, that just becomes the standard. And who's it who talks about it? I can't remember, but he's like, he uses a business class analogy, and he's like, go and buy yourself a business class ticket and sit there, and psychologically your mind will then just
Steve
start.
Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey, that's it. He starts your mind just naturally then will think of ways to get you back there.
Yeah,
Like wait,
so
like
true.
it's cool that, isn't it?
So true.
that is a mad one, eh?
Yeah, because like your mind's an incredible thing. It takes the easiest route for things, or it's pulling it forward. So like if you same thing, if you try on a nice watch in a shop but you don't have the money for it, in your mind you've set that intention that you're going back to get that.
Yeah, really, man. It's a good, cool way to think about it. Well, right, so then, on the other hand, what's one thing or a trend that a client's come in and ask for that you actually don't like the look of, or
He's trying to put
If I speak, I'm in trouble.
trying to get you
He
in
said
a
you
lot
never
of
had
trouble
questions.
here,
These
yeah.
are well rehearsed.
Nothing, everything they pick's amazing.
Yeah. Some of the colour combinations have been questionable, and I think that this
Like
like
chucking them under the bus, so you
some
go
of the
for it.
sometimes we've had to say no to things because it's obviously it's going to say suited and booted inside it, right? So and we have had clients say, "Listen, I'm glad."
Yeah.
We've toned it back, refined it, maybe.
So that goes back to the so did you, with that, is that people just asking for ridiculous things, or they actually don't know the colour schemes, and then with you guys' help you go, look, these colours
You pair it a bit better, and then it looks better, right?
Yeah, like sometimes somebody came in for their wedding suit, say they've got quite like, out there taste, and they're trying to, because they have the opportunity to make decisions, they're like, oh, I'll do this and do that. And sometimes with tailoring, less is more. Not to say we've not created like super unusual creations, and some stuff that clients have picked that it turns out looking even better than something we would have put together. That's part of the process, but some things we've had to politely decline.
It's kind of like a tattoo as well, eh? Where I've seen you go to a really good artist, get them to draw it for you, but then you get the stencil done somewhere else for cheaper, and then they come back needing it done and all that. You're like, no, I've already
Pay twice, my friend.
yeah, exactly. But you've already used someone else. If you ask me who's done over that,
Yeah.
you're not gonna tell them you've done that. But you know what I mean for that. So yeah. Again, yeah. So nothing you actually hate. I feel like you guys do. You're just staying quiet on that one.
I don't think there's a specific product that I don't like in terms of like a style. I think because obviously everything we make can look amazing with the right fabric choice or for
And
the
the
right
fitting into it. It's the fitting process of that, like getting some, like we're all different shapes and body sizes, like getting something to fit you is the hardest part when you go into a store, right? You say, oh, I'd like this to be different, but we can actually provide that.
yeah.
So who? Obviously, you could probably say everyone by this because you want as much people in as possible. But who's the dream celebrity / star that you'd want in tailoring or even representing the brand?
For me, I'd love to dress Sheikh Mohammed.
Sheikh Mohammed.
He's obviously a visionary. He's created this place that's given us the platform to have that success. So yeah, if he's listening, numbers
if you're
below.
listening, we'll add the link to their
We'd-
website and a phone number if you get a call going.
He'd be my
We
favourite.
had 2 names this year on. We always at the start of the year go over the team who's our ideal client. The team's actually just about to announce some of the ones they've had on the list, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Ailey, who's been with us from basically the start, she's just about to hit her ideal client, which she's buzzing about, which is cool to see, right? It's cool to see the staff get in front of the people who they would love to get in front of. And then for us, Sir Alex was on the list this year and they came true, and the other one was Sheikh Mohammed. So we've got one to go.
We've got a
Make
magic.
sure you
big
get
boss.
it done.
We've
If you're
got-
watching.
We've got a magic whiteboard. We write down our dream clients in.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's been many that have went on there that I haven't
you haven't
come to
clicked
fruition.
off.
So
Signs. So where can people find the details about you? Where can we find an office, a shop to even go in?
I mean, obviously you touched on. So we've got the Dubai store. We have the store in Abu Dhabi that's in the W Hotel on Yas Island. And the Glasgow store's 18 Montrose Street. It's the Glasgow store is beautiful. So, and then just all the traditional methods on Instagram or online.
Yep, and you can all find out the details of the fabrics you use and all that on your website.
Yeah. And inquire. I think a big thing is for a lot of people, again, for the first time ever, go and experience it and see how it feels. It's class. Class
Yeah,
experience.
even if it is, for example, in the Glasgow store, a pair of jeans or
go
something.
and get.
Go and
I'm a bit biased, but I think we sell the best t-shirt in the world at a reasonable price point. So go and even try the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Go and try it.
Okay, and can I get a final word to the young entrepreneurs chasing their dream at the moment?
I think if you're already chasing your dream, or if you're trying to make the decision to do it, like to go back to the conversation we had earlier, is like, would you regret not doing it? And if the answer to that is yes, then you need to try it, because like it's especially if it's something they love, not just. I think a lot of people now are trying to be entrepreneurs for the sake of it,
All
like,
the wrong reasons.
yeah, or the wrong reasons, or they've got this ideology that if they start their own business, because I remember someone saying, I'm going to start my own business so I can work less. If you're starting if you're starting your own business to work less or to become a millionaire in 2 years, then don't bother. But if you've got something that you're like, this is what I love and I want to try, you need to try.
Yeah, I think there's a clear road from you guys as well. You haven't even had a 5-year plan. You are just like, we care about this and we want this to do exactly how we want it. Be the best at tailoring. You have continuously said that over this podcast. Be the best at what you do. No, actually focus on the amount of people you're getting done or anything. Because I think you guys could easily probably pack in seeing 10 more people a day.
Yeah.
With the amount of time you actually spend speaking to people and really gaining a relationship with them as well.
Makes all the difference, mate. Makes all the difference.
Well, guys, thanks very much for your time today. It's been
Thanks for having us
Thanks
on.
for having us on.
very
Appreciate
informative.
Cheers.
Cheers.
If anybody needs a suit, come and see us.
Yeah, go see them. Yeah.